Hello, welcome to the first tutorial video for Ableton Live creative music production. This is going to be a recap over things you've already learnt last year. We're just going to have a quick look at the preferences within Live, the important ones to know. We're going to have a look at the differences between session view and arrangement view. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the preferences here then. Look at this top look and feel tab. Okay, is there anything important for us to note here? Not particularly, unless you want to change the look of Ableton Live. I normally just leave it on Calcium so it doesn't confuse me when I go elsewhere. What about this audio tab? Well, there are important things here. Here we can choose separately, notice, the audio input device and the audio output device. I'm using my Motu 828 Mark III hybrid at the minute, but there's various other options that I'm sure everyone's familiar with by now. So you can set individual input and output devices. Okay. Also, this is where you configure which inputs and outputs are available. So here are my possible list of inputs. I've got input 3 and 4 set up as a stereo in, and then the rest all set up as mono. Just zoom out so I can close this, and then the same for the outputs, alright, but with a slightly different configuration. This is my main stereo output pair, and then I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 to be mono, so I can send signal to various places. Okay, we can choose the in and out sample rate, pretty standard, 44/100. We can choose the buffer size. Always best to be as low as possible. You get separate reading of input and output latency, and then an overall latency as well. This driver error compensation window enables you to delay the signal if you want, or do a reverse delay if you like. This is handy if you're performing using a laptop with a live band, or while recording as well. The driver error that it talks about is to do with the delay in time incurred by the audio drivers. So you might want to shift things around if you're playing with a bunch of live musicians or recording. I'll let you dig into that in your own time. We've also got this test tone function within Ableton. The idea is that you crank the CPU usage simulator up to 80, switch the test tone on, and then reduce this buffer size until you start to hear clicks. Okay, you should be able to hear those clicks there. I normally have this on 49 for my interface. This isn't functioning very well because I've got it zoomed in, so I'll just go back to here. But it's a case of experimenting. Drag it all the way down to the bottom, click apply, and then just keep incrementally go up through the amount of samples until you no longer get any clicks and pops with this usage simulator on 80%. Alright, so I'm just going to get rid of that for now. Alright then, MIDI sync. So this is where you set up your control services. The computers in the Mac Lab, this is already all set up for you. So you guys are pretty lucky with the Freeze software on the computers. This will automatically be configured exactly as it should every time. We should pay particular attention to this MIDI in and output part of the page though. Just a quick demonstration of what this represents. So bear in mind that we have a list of inputs and outputs. So track on or off helps you choose whether various different devices are available as MIDI inputs and outputs. So let's have a look. For example, this pad control input is set to on. So if we go to one of the MIDI tracks and go to the MIDI input chooser, you'll see that the pad control is available as an input. If I go back to the preferences and I switch that off, it's now not available as an input. Alright, I'll switch that back on. Sync is for sending MIDI sync information out of Ableton. So at the minute I'm sending sync information out via the MIDI ports on the hybrid, and that's to go onto external synths for timing information. And remote is for remote control, and I do have the pad control listed as a remote at the minute. Okay, file and folders I'm not too worried about at the minute. Record, warp and launch. This is good stuff. So file types, I always choose AIFF. Bit depth, universal count in for when we start to record MIDI clips using the Novation Launchpad or other USB input devices. Okay, we can choose exclusive arms or solos. Also clip update rate, experiment with that when you're launching clips with different launch modes. Okay, yeah, I always have my default warp mode on complex, although I believe, yeah, because of the deep freeze software on the Macs, this I think will be set to beats on your guys, and computers, but I have mine set to complex. I also have auto warp long samples off, so I can choose what I want to do with longer tracks when I import them into live. Also, I believe in the MATLAB 3, the default launch mode is set to, I think it might be toggle, so you guys might have to go in and set this back to trigger. Okay, that's enough for the main preferences. I just want to have a quick look at the differences between session and arrangement view. So here I've got a project with, I'm just going to focus on these 6 tracks, okay, that I've got the different colours here. I've got a few different clips here, not too much going on. Let's remember that the session view is a launching base for your clips, alright, so we can launch the individual clips from session view. If I head over to arrangement, I've got my insert marker here. I'll just put it here, so nothing will be playing in the arrangement view when I press play. I'll just start the sequencer. So remember that we can play these clips in any order that we want, okay? We don't have to go from top to bottom. We can go in any order that we want. So this is your session view is a launching base for your clips. I'm going to go and move the insert marker over to this area here, where I've got the loop brace set around between 37 and 53. Okay, notice at the minute that everything is grayed out in the arrangement view. Okay, so if I press back to arrangement, now it comes to life color wise. It's not grayed out anymore, and I'm gonna set this off to play. Okay, I'm going to do that again, and then I'm going to head over to session view, and on this bass track I'm going to launch one of these different clips, and then when I head back to session view you'll see that the material on this track, i.e. these 3 clips, will be grayed out. Okay, and that's because once you launch something in session view, that then takes precedence over what's in arrangement view. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is all grayed out because I launched this clip, alright? So everything else is playing as normal, but because I launched this clip on the bass track, this is now grayed out because the session view is controlling what's playing now. Notice that session and arrangement view share exactly the same tracks, okay? So there's exactly the same group of tracks as there is in session view. Alright, so the 2 views share the tracks. Okay, if we want to go back to playing what's in the arrangement view, we press this button, which is called back to arrangement. Alright, I think it's somewhere else on the screen in Live 8. I'm using Live 9 at the minute. It's somewhere else, but it looks like that. All the same, I think it's orange rather than being red. Anyway, if I press play here, and this is currently grayed out because we've got a clip playing in session view. Once I press play, I'm going to press this back to arrangement button, and this will come back to life again. Okay, so that's back to arrangement. That's a quick way for you to go back to what's over in arrangement view. What else can we do? Well, we can use scene launch buttons. So where we have different clips running down vertically, the horizontal arrangement of clips is known as a scene, and this is a scene launch button. This is probably going to sound horrible because I'm going to play a whole bunch of clips together, but just to demonstrate. Didn't sound too bad. Anyway, so these are the scene launch buttons. We can launch a scene, which is a horizontal collection of clips. We can also rename the scenes, so I can call this one Jack if I want by pressing Command R and then renaming and then hitting enter. There's a few other interesting things we can do with scenes. We can specify a BPM. So at the minute my session BPM is 82. I'm going to change this to 100 and type BPM in there. Notice then that the scene launch button goes orange, and that's to indicate that there is some information within the scene name that Live can interpret as either a change in tempo or a change in time signature. So when I launch this scene now, we should change to 100 BPM. There it goes. Alright, what else can we do with the scene launch name? Well, let's change this to 3/4 time signature. Again, this one goes orange. By the way, you don't just have to put 3/4 in there. This could be called Jack 2 3 4. Alright, so I'm going to put the metronome on so you can hear that this changes to 3/4. Alright, so when I launched this, we changed to 3/4, so you can change tempo and time signature via the route of changing a scene name. So we said before that the session view and arrangement view share tracks, which is true, but they don't have to share clips. All right, they don't have to share exactly the same arrangement of material. So I've got an arrangement of material over here, but I can change that up if I want to. I can hold this clip. All right, this is by clicking on the mouse and holding down, hit tab, and then I can go over and drop this in here. Okay, I don't want to convert audio to MIDI at the minute. I think I've actually dropped, yeah, I must have dropped an audio clip onto a MIDI track there. Let me just try that again. Ah, yes, okay, so this is guitar arpeg. So it was somewhere in here. Alright, so we don't have to have the same material in arrangement view as we have in session view, and vice versa. We can have different things. Okay. What is mutually exclusive though is what is actually playing via one track at one particular time. I'm just going to change this back to 4/4, and I'll change the tempo back to 82. I'll change the name of these scenes back also. Okay, so we're back to something approaching normality. Okay, so tracks, as well as hosting clips, they handle signal flow. So a track can only play either what's in session view or what's in arrangement view, which is why you get the graying out of the material in arrangement view when you launch a clip in session view. I'll just go back to this looped portion at the minute. Okay, so currently that's playing what's in arrangement view because I pressed back to arrangement. I'm going to press play again. Okay, so this is grayed out as we showed before, but notice that the difference between launching a clip from session view and it taking over from arrangement view, if we stop the clip in session view, the clip that's in arrangement view isn't going to take over from that clip. Okay, so if we launch a clip in session view, then it takes over from what's in arrangement view. If we stop the clip in session view, the arrangement material doesn't take back over. You have to press back to arrangement. So I'll just hit play, and I'm going to stop this white clip over in session view to let you hear the bass cut out. Okay, this is still grayed out. The bass cut out because I stopped this clip over here, but as I say, it doesn't actually take over from session view until you press back to arrangement. There it is. Alright, so that's the difference between session view taking over from arrangement view, but if you stop the clips in session view, you have to go back to arrangement, okay, via the back to arrangement button. Just to look at a few navigation features now, we can click and drag with this magnifying glass up here, okay, to zoom in and out. We can make a selection and double click to zoom that selection to the size of the screen, and if nothing is selected and we double click, it'll zoom out to view the entire length of the session. We can use this insert marker to designate where we want to play back from, and we can also reposition that insert marker with the right and left arrows on the keypad. Okay, so this is deciding where we want to play back from. We can reposition the loop brace by making a selection and pressing Command and L. Alright, so that's to reposition the loop brace, and we can also click and drag the edges of the loop brace if we want. We can use the front, we can change the front end position and the back end position, and then we can also click and drag the entire loop brace as a whole. Alright, so I hope this has been a worthwhile catch up for you for the first week.